Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Tan Chi Sing from Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman. So welcome to the second sections of the afternoon section, the second talk of the afternoon sections. And just now we heard about the interactions between positive psychology and forensic psychology in Philippines. Now, let us move our focus to Malaysia. In these sections, we are lucky enough to have Professor Dr. Intan Hashimah Muhammad Hashim. Dr. Intan Hashimah is a professor in psychology from Universiti Sains Malaysia. Her expertise is in the area of social and positive psychology, exploring how relationship can help people live a happier life. Dr. Intan is very passionate about helping people lead their most meaningful life by discovering their own strengths and building better connections. In her free time, Dr. Intan loves to go for a long walk, enjoying nature with her loved ones. So ladies and gentlemen, okay, Dr. Intan will be sharing with us about happiness as everyday agenda, the role of positive psychology in Malaysia. So without further delay, okay, please join me to welcome Dr. Intan Hashimah.
Thank you, Dr. Tan, for the introduction. And thank you very much to the organizer, especially Dr. Tan and his team, for organizing this wonderful, wonderful event on this very, very special day, International Day of Happiness. So I'm going to start sharing my screen and hope that everything will be okay. All right, so let's just okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, so basically, I think today we heard a lot about what is happiness, and we talked a lot about happiness and the things that can make us happier. We talk about authentic happiness, self-compassion, also about your mindset, and later today we talk about we listen to the talk about the connection between positive psychology and how it can also be used to help people and be used within the field of forensic psychology. So I'm not going to focus too much on what is happiness, but I'm just going to give just a little bit of overview, just to give some background to my talk today. Okay, so I hope everyone is feeling okay this afternoon, and they already had some lunch and had already relaxed. But I think by now, many of you have already know what is happiness is all about. But just to give another recap of what is happiness. I think clearly you have we have listened to some discussion about how happiness can be part of emotions, feeling joyful, contentment, feeling optimistic about the future, and also feeling satisfied and a sense of fulfillment about your life, having meaning and having seeing your life as having meaning and purpose, and also experiencing good relationships. So these are some of the key elements or dimensions or ingredients of happiness. Okay, all right. Now, if I ask you a question of how happy you are, I think today we have made a lot of self-reflection. Some of the speakers have asked you to reflect on yourself. So I think this is one last time of self-reflection. Sorry. All right. So if you I'm having some challenges with managing my screen. Okay, now these are some of the questions you can think about when you want to consider how happy you are. I think For example, if you feel that you have achieved something in your life and you feel that you are living the life that you really, really like, that you really enjoy, you generally feel satisfied with your life. On day-to-day basis, you experience more positive emotions compared to negative ones. You experience more joy compared to sadness, more happy compared to being angry. So if you experience more positive emotions on your everyday life, and you are able to share the joy and happiness with others around you, with your family, with your friends, with your colleagues, and at the same time, you are also open to new ideas and new experience, and you're feeling hopeful about the future. If your answer is yes to all of these questions, then great, wonderful, you are a happy person. And actually, a lot of people are quite happy with their life. So don't be surprised if you find yourself that you are indeed a happy person. So that's good. Okay. But why is it important? Why do we want to be happy? Why is it important that we do this self-assessment? And why do we want to be happier if we are already a little bit happy? And if we are not happy, why do we want to be happy? Actually, it is important to be happy. And happy can lead to a lot of great things. So for example, the first thing is happy suddenly makes everything easier. When you are feeling good, when you are feeling joyful, when you are feeling calm, feeling content, you will find that you can do a lot more. That if you are working if you're feeling happy on that day, and you have to do a lot of things, whatever you're doing seems to be easier. Seems you will be able to do a lot more, to achieve more compared to on the day when you are not happy. If you experiencing something negative that makes you feel angry or sad, then but at the same time you still have a lot of things to do, you will find it harder for you to do things on a day when you are not feeling as happy. So happy makes everything, makes even difficult tasks can be easier when you are experiencing positive emotions. And happiness protects. People who experience a lot of positive emotions are stronger and better prepared during adversity and challenges. What happens is that if you experience a lot of emotion, a lot of positive emotions, it doesn't make you weak. It does not make you feel like it does not make you become weak when you are facing difficulties. In fact, the more positive experience you experience throughout your life, throughout your days, throughout your weeks, the better you are when you are facing some unexpected challenges like pandemic. So people who are generally happy before the pandemic, during the pandemic, they are better buffered to face this adversity. They are not weak. They are not weakened because of the positive emotion that they experienced before. In fact, they are strengthened. And the third reason why you should be happy, why people should be happy, is that happiness builds. People who are happy are more likely to build stronger connections with everyone around them. So, for example, if they are in a family, if they are happy, they are able to build stronger family. If they are in a community is comprised of many individuals who are happy, the communities can become stronger because everyone are more likely to build connection with people around them, and then the community becomes better. And this is also true for organizations who have a lot of happy people, have organizations with a lot of happy employees. They are able to become better connected with people around them, with their colleagues, and this makes better organization. So happiness builds. And happiness environment provides safe haven for exploration and creativity. When you are in a happy environment, people who experience, who live in a happy environment, the happiness, the sense of happiness that you feel gives from you into exploration, from you into gaining more information, get from you into initiating new activities and new things around you. So happy environment allow for this development, the learning new things. All right, and happy people are kind people, and of course, kind people are happier. So it's good if you have happy people around you, or you have happy neighbors. Chances are they are going to be kind neighbors also. So and if you have happy colleagues, they are going to be kind colleagues also. And happy makes everyone better. People who are happy, they become better parents. They are people who are happy are better parents, are better teachers, are better leaders, are better partners, are better friends. So whatever role they have, together with their positive emotional well-being, they become better at whatever they're doing. And happiness makes better future. People who are happy are more optimistic in their outlook. And because they are more optimistic, they are more likely to learn, to go and do new things, to learn new things, to grow themselves, to do something different. And then they will develop and they will become a better version of themselves before. And being happy allows people to get more out of their life. And people who have more, they can give more. They tend to give more. So these are some of the reasons why we want people to be happy. We want ourselves to be happy, and we want others to be happy as well. Okay, now I want to focus more on happiness as everyday agenda and on how to be happy. And I know a lot of speakers today have spoke about happiness, has spoke about how they can be happier, including self-compassion, including being their authentic self, including working on how they view things, how their mindset is. Okay, so I'm going to share with you some of the things that maybe some of these already been shared by earlier speakers. And maybe some of this you already know and you already practice, which is good for you. But I do want to focus on one aspect that I think is extra important, and that is on relationships. Okay, all right. So how to be happy? So first of all, it's very, very important that you are mindful. I think positive psychologists talk about being mindful a lot of time, and they talk about how it is important for you to be present with whatever you're doing and be aware of everything that's going on around you. And by being present, you are more aware of what your feelings, and by being present, you are able to appreciate, see things for what they are, and appreciate the good things, and deal with the negative things in a more open way. So being present is very, very key that will allow people to that is the beginning or the basis of being happy, and not to live life being mindless, because the opposite of being present and being mindful is being mindless, and living mindlessly will take away the focus, will take away the pleasure out of life. If you just eat, if you go on a remote control kind of mode, just going through your life, waking up in the morning, having breakfast, go to work, and come back, and just like that. So you lose the joy of life. You lose the joy of relationships, and the joy of making connections, and the joy of savoring your good experience. So be present. And the second thing is it's still part of being present, is to focus on yourself. A lot of times we tend to focus on everything around us, We focus on what the other people are saying. We focus on art. We focus on our children. We focus on our spouse. We focus on our students. So we focus on others, and we try to deal with them. And so, but it's very, very important to focus on yourself, to check on yourself, to see how you are feeling, to check on yourself to see what is going on with you. Are you tired? Are you okay? Are you? Do you need a drink? Do you need a break? Are you working too hard? Are you bored? So it's very important to have this focus on self from time to time. You don't have to focus on yourself 24/7, but don't not focus on yourself. It's very important for you to reflect on, to check on yourself, to check on how you're feeling, to check on how you're doing, to check and to make sure that you are getting what you need. Okay. And the third thing that I think is key to being happy is to take care of yourself. Self-care, self-healing. Some people use the word healing. I heard a lot of healing in the social media, but really it doesn't matter whether it's healing or whether it's caring, whether it's self-care or self-love. But as long as you are taking care of the most important person in your life, and that is you. You are the most important person in your life. And the moment that you are not doing well, you will suffer. So you must make sure that you take care of yourself. And the key to self-care, one is, of course, the basic one. Make sure that you sleep enough. Make sure that you eat enough, drink enough, have good food, have good so make sure that you take care of the basic. Make sure you get this sleep, eat, and drink and rest. Yeah, and then of course, part of self-care is to think about what makes you happy and to do more of the things that makes you happy. If you are happy to go outside and enjoy the nature, I think Dr. Tan mentioned how much I enjoy walking, go for a walk. I enjoy that very much. So if you enjoy that as well, do a lot of that. If you enjoy a particular music and you want to listen more, then do that. So don't forget to take care of yourself. You cannot pour from empty cups. You cannot give if you are empty. So self-care. Okay. I think number 4 is also related to number 1, which is be present. And actually number 4 and 5, they're related. But I like this point, and that's why I put them as 2 separate things. So notice good things is that you must be aware of everything good that is happening in your life. I think earlier, one of the speakers talk about how that we tend to notice more when something is not right. We notice less for things that are working, but we notice more for things that are not working. And this is indeed, of course, important, because if you are because you have to prepare for any threat. You have to prepare to meet any dangerous things out there. So you have to give attention to anything that is threatening. But this mechanism is supposed to take care of you during your survival, when you need to survive. But we live in a peaceful time. We don't need to have that survival mode all the time. And if we go in this survival mode all the time, we will lose out on the things that are good out there. Because we are looking for dangerous things. We forgot we will be less likely to notice good things in our life. So this is something that we must relearn, and we must change the way we see things. So we must be able to notice everything, every single thing that are good in your life. I think during Andrew's session, he asked us to identify 10 things that we feel grateful for. This is a very, very good exercise, because this exercise, it refocus our attention from everything that we feel stressful about, which is most likely something that we pay attention to, but refocusing to something that are good around us, that we feel grateful for. So notice them and be grateful for them. But once we identify them and we notice them, don't just stop there. The next time we have a chance to do that, savor that experience. If you are grateful for your friends and you enjoy so much to spend time with them, the next time you have a chance to do this, savor this experience, savor this moment. Don't forget to sit there and think, or you can just think, or you can also express how good it is to be there, how good it is to be there among friends, how good it is to be listening to this conversation, silly conversation, and be laughing together. And I think this savoring good things in life is especially something that maybe a lot of people experience more after the pandemic, because during the pandemic, a lot of things that we have taken for granted, we have taken for granted that we can no longer do that. But this is the time where you can experience more of that. So savor more of that. Okay, the sixth is work on your relationships. This one I want to save, because I want to talk a little bit more about relationships. In fact, today I want to focus mainly on this aspect of this aspect of relationships and how it can make you happy. Okay, all right. Here I'm sharing here is the happy calendar from Action of Happiness. Action of Happiness is a non-profit organization. It is one of the reasons why we celebrate International Day of Happiness. They work closely to push for the celebration of International Day of Happiness, but they come up with this calendar for every month. So the January is for a happier January, because they do have, like, I think September is the self-compassion, and so they have different themes for different month. Okay, so but I do want to focus on this January calendar. So you can see here, these are some of the recommendations by Action of Happiness on the things that you can do to make you happy. Okay, so find 3 things to look forward to this year. What are your 3 things that you look forward to this year? So reflect on this. And for the 2nd of January, you can do this at any day you want. Okay, so for example, make time today to do something kind for yourself. This is, of course, related to self-compassion. Think about what is it that you can do to be kind to yourself. Are you tired? You think you need a nap? You need a good cup of coffee? Get that for yourself. Okay, the 3rd one is do a kind act for someone else to help brighten their day. Being kind is actually will make you feel happy. When research has shown, when you're feeling down and you want to get yourself feeling better immediately, the first thing is try to think about what can you do for someone. What can you do to make someone happy? And this will make you happy. Okay, so number 4, write a list of things you feel grateful for and why. So we did that earlier. Look for the good thing in others and notice their strength. Okay, even if by looking for good things in others, that's already can put you in a good mood. Just think about someone and think about how wonderful that person is. And this is already can improve your emotion. Okay, take 5 minutes of sit still and just breathe. That one is helpful too. Learn something new and share it with others. Learning something new, doing something differently. Say positive things to the people you meet. Get moving, exercise. Will also make you happy. Thank someone you are grateful to. Stay away from social media. Connect with someone near you. Maybe just a smile, send a positive message. This one, take a different route today and see what you notice. I mean, try to notice everything around you. Go walk somewhere where you haven't walked before. Eat healthy. Be gentle with yourself when you make mistakes. Say something nice to yourself. So you can see a lot of things here that you can do to make you happy. Okay, all right. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I would like to focus mainly on relationships. And relationship is very important because it is an important source of meaning and an important source of happiness. So, but it's not just any kind of relationships, because relationships can work both ways. If your relationship is bad, they can also be the source of the stress, the source of your negative emotions. If they are good, they can be the source of your meaning and the source of your happiness. So when we're talking about relationship, the kind of relationship that make you happy, we're talking about positive relationships, okay? And here, I just want to focus mainly on what you can do to strengthen your relationships so that they can be your source of joy and happiness, okay? So I'm focusing on that. Okay. So, of course, one of the key things in relationships is to practice compassion. And when you talk about compassion, what compassion is all about is feeling the pain and the suffering of that person, and feeling the need to do something to change that, feeling the need to alleviate their suffering, to make them feel better, and that is practice compassion. That is compassion, and when you do that, when you experience this, and you express this to someone, your friends, your partner, your children, that the other person will feel better, and they will feel connected to you. They feel that you care. They feel that you care for them, and they feel so compassion is very, very important to build good relationships. Okay. The second one is practice compassionate love, and I differentiate this between compassion and compassionate love because compassionate love is slightly different. When compassion is just the general feeling of the general feeling of being compassionate, but compassionate love is a type of love. Okay, you love your children, you love your partner, you love your friends, but what kind of love you have for them? When you have compassionate love for them, it means that you care for their well-being, you care if they are suffering, and you don't want them to suffer. So this is a very special kind of love. So it's so don't just love, but do it compassionately, love compassionately. Okay, so related to compassion and compassionate love is supportive. So be there for them, be there for someone, express your support, and express it. Tell people you care, that you are there for them, and really be there for them. Don't just say I'm here for you, but never call. So when you say that you are there for someone, really make a point to call. Okay, the other one is loving kindness meditation. I don't know whether you have heard of this, but it's just a kind of meditation where you think about someone and you send positive thoughts to them. So for example, you think about your friend and you say, oh, I wish good things will happen to this person. It can also be a form of prayer, like I pray that this person is doing well. I pray that this person is not suffering. I pray that this person is going to have good things happening their way. So it's loving kindness meditation. And of course, being kind. Earlier we talked about how being kind is really, being kind is so useful. It's so important. It's important for the person who are practicing the kindness. It's also important to the person who experiencing it. Both the giver and the recipient will experience positive emotions. Okay. I'm just checking with time. Okay, so the next thing is how to be happy is still continuing on building your relationships. Just now I talk about all of that is more for general relationships. But now let's say if you are in a relationship, if you are with your partner, with your spouse, or with your best friend. Okay, so when you are already in this intimate relationship, how can you build it further? So the key to this relationship is, of course, trust. And what is important in trust is the predictability and stability. So the key components of trust is that the relationship is predictable. You can expect how this person will behave. You can trust that this person will always help you. You can trust that this person will not do anything threatening to you. So that is trust. The predictability of that relationships and the stability of the relationship. And this is key. So so when you are building relationships, please make sure that you behave in a predictable, stable, reliable manner, so that your partner knows that you are always there for them. The second one is open communication, of course. Communication is key. The moment you are not able to communicate with one another, that is when the relationships is in the serious threat. Okay, being patient with each other, being patient, being tolerant, accepting, not expecting the other person to be perfect. Empathy, compassion is the same thing. You feel what the other person is feeling. Affection and interest, you feel love. You feel happy to be with this person. Flexibility, allowing for the other person to grow, allowing yourself to grow. Of course, trust means predictability, but growing in a predictability way is still equals flexibility, and this is good. And respect, respecting the opinion, respecting the other person, respecting the interests, the needs, and maybe if this person is expecting some boundaries, you respect that wish. Okay. The next thing is to deal with conflict. How to deal with conflict? Okay. When you are in a relationship, surely you will bound to be in conflict at one point or another. So how do you deal with that? Is the open communication, is the ability to be flexible, and at the end of the day is the forgiveness, the ability to forgive, to accept, to be respectful. So these are the keys to positively dealing with conflict, and not dealing with conflict in a dangerous way, in a threatening way, not dealing with conflict in a violent way. Okay, so So continue to build, continue to contribute to relationships, communicate your understanding with each other, sharing intimacy, intimacy and sharing. So there's a lot of intimacy and sharing in that relationship. So it's not just respect, but not sharing anything at all. It's respect, but also intimate. So these are the key elements that should be in your relationship, and these are something that you should continue to build with your partner. Okay, actually I'm at the, okay, this is my last slide. Okay, so basically, sorry to move this somewhere else. Okay, all right. So the role of positive psychology. So I in my slides before, so I talk about how individual can, what us as individuals can do to be happier, to promote happiness. Okay, of course we know that positive psychology is the science of happiness. So basically what positive psychologists do, we try to discover what are the things that can increase happiness, that can increase well-being, that can, so we focus on that. So as I think together today, a group of us come together. Some of us are researchers, academics, some of us are practitioners. So we came together and we talk about how different things that we are doing, researching and things like that. So I think this is good. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to continue to build the field of positive psychology, the field of science of happiness. And I'm so happy to see our friends from Thailand, our friends from Philippines. So it's wonderful to see that all these Asian psychologists are coming together and trying to build this field of positive psychology. Maybe right now we are working individually, but we can consider more collaborations. But even if we are not collaborating yet, it's just wonderful to see how different people are, how different positive psychologists are working in different countries to do this. Okay? So for those of us in academics, we should continue to do research and research and research. And of course, this is something expected for us as academics anyway, but we should do it to build this field more, because we know, as we psychologists know, a lot of psychology, theories in psychology have been built by research from Western universities. And these research are good and very, very important, and they help to build the psychology today. But that's not enough. We know we need to do a lot more research to understand what's going on in Asia, how culture may play a role. And also, I think today, some of us talk about the interventions and the practice. Some of us are doing research, but also try to apply the intervention outside there. So that's great. That's wonderful. So, and we should continue to disseminate this knowledge, either through publication or either by sharing with members of public, and then try to continue to build this field. And I think it's very important that we train more people. In my university, I try to train as many postgraduates as possible. I think also, but not just people in academics, but more so for the practitioners. So we need a lot more people like Andrew. We need a lot more people who are coaching, who are training others, who are really working with people out there and really disseminating this information to the people out there. So we need a lot more, and of course we need collaborations in all of this. So I think that's my last slide. This is my source. Yeah, thank you. So I will stop sharing, right? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Dr. Intan Hashimah, for your wonderful and insightful sharing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to start the Q&A sections. So, as usual, you are now allowed to unmute yourself to talk to Professor Dr. Intan Hashimah. At the same time, if you are shy to talk to Dr. Intan, you may utilize the chat box to post your question there. So I believe some of you may need some time to post your questions. Let me take this opportunity to ask questions. So Dr. Intan, you mentioned that being present is one of the important tips, okay, to achieve happiness. I was wondering, can you share some tips on how to being present?
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I think just a lot of suggestions for people to, part of being present is of course being mindful. I mean, when you sit somewhere in your room, maybe you just make sure that you are aware of where you are and what you are doing and who are you with, and try to be very how do I say this? Like be very make sure that that everything that you need to do before that you have finished, or you just leave it. Like if you're in the office, leave everything what happened in the office there when you go home. But when you are home, and when you are in the office, leave everything. I mean, for me, this is this is just my tips. I just try to make sure that so separate that life between work and home. Yeah.
Okay, so separating work and life.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so it is important for us to have a clear boundary, okay, between different roles. So don't mix them up. All right. So okay, let me see. Okay, while we are still waiting for questions.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's just me. So maybe other people will do things differently. I just want to say that.
No worries, no worries. And Dr. Intan, I also learned that you enjoy for a long walk or exposed to the nature. So study has found that physical exercise and also exposure to nature actually are helpful to our well-being. Can you share with us, your personal practice? Usually what will you do? Okay, for example, how long you will take to go for a walk, and when we are living in a city, how can we expose to the nature?
I think even in the city, for example, I also live in a city of Penang, so in the city of Georgetown. But there is what's nice about Georgetown is that, or Penang, is that there are they have beautiful parks everywhere. So make full use of that. I think Utah has some of the most beautiful grounds. I think so these are some of the beautiful places that you can enjoy. But when you go there, really try to absorb what's going on. Really, this is where the mindfulness become very important. Try to see every little beautiful things. I think in the beginning you might not notice it, but after a while, with some practice, you keep just looking at them. You see everything so beautiful everywhere. Yeah.
And usually, how frequent and how long you go for a walk?
I usually go at least 3 or 4 times a week, and maybe about 40 minutes to 1 hour.
All right. So there's a question from Dr. Gan. It's like, Dr. Intan, may you share us some tips to cope with negative mood as we can't feel present at that moment?
Okay. All right. I think if you feel negative, don't deny that feelings. It's very important that you experience whatever feelings you're experiencing. So if you feel negative, maybe sit there for a while and think about what is it that you are feeling and why, and try to reflect on it, and not just try to suppress it. Don't suppress it, and try to and sometimes, for example, for me, when I feel angry at something, so I do allow myself to feel angry at whatever I'm feeling. But the key is, you don't have to feel angry and go and knock on someone or knock on something, but you can feel angry and telling yourself, I'm feeling very angry about this. I'm feeling very angry. So come to terms with what you're feeling. Don't deny your feeling. And you will find that after a while, because you cannot feel angry for a long time. Because even if you say, I'm going to feel angry, okay, I'm going to feel angry. But after a while, you will lose that anger, because that's just how emotion happens. It will change. You will move to the other things, and then that is a much better way to deal with anger, rather than ignoring it, or rather than trying to force yourself to feel something else. Yes, very beautiful. Utah campus is very beautiful. Can you also share tips on how to be present for someone when they don't want to talk? Sorry, I have to, I'm reading these comments. Yeah, you're welcome. But how do I cannot read the whole sentence? Can you read for me? I can read only just the first sentence.
Can you also share tips on how to be present for someone when they don't want to talk? I sometimes feel awkward and lost just sitting there while they are feeling sad.
Okay. No, if they don't want to talk, that's okay. I think just being there when they are feeling sad, that's already good enough. That's already good enough. You just say there, you say, oh, are you feeling sad and you don't want to talk about it? That's okay. I'm here just to be with you. And if you feel awkward, I don't know, maybe drink a coffee or something during that time. But actually, by being there, when you are trying to help someone, they don't have to talk all the time. You don't have to talk all the time. Just being there is already good enough. Yeah.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, any more questions? We can take one more. So Dr. Intan, you share with us several techniques that we can integrate positive psychology in our relationship. Can you give any advice, okay, especially to our young audience? Okay, how can we start practicing positive psychology in nurturing a positive relationship, especially a romantic relationship?
I think for me, the I don't know, gold standard of love is compassionate love. So when you are in a relationship, you remember, because compassionate love is a kind of love that's not about you, it's about the other person. And because if you love the other person, you care about them and you care about their feelings and you care about their suffering. So I think, so my advice is that do practice compassionate love. And I think it will be good for you and your partner. And you both will be very happy for a long time, I hope.
Just a follow-up question, Dr. Intan. Okay, you mentioned that you recommend practicing the compassion love. Is there any any practice that you can recommend to beginners? For example, if today we want to practice compassion love, how do we start it?
I think being empathy is key. Like, of course, to be empathy, you need to be mindful, because when you are mindful, then only you can you must be present in that relationship and be present to notice anything wrong with your partner. If he or she looks sad, or looking down. So I think empathy, mindful and empathy are key. So if you want to practice compassionate love, the first is to really be there and really try to listen. But sometimes it's the self-care that is going to lead to other care. So remember to care for yourself first, and to pay attention to what you're feeling. Then you will find that you become more responsive to what others are feeling, and this will be good for relationship in long run.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Intan, for the recommendations. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to improve the quality of your relationship, make sure you pay attention. Okay, not only just be there, but you also have to pay attention to your partners. And more importantly, is like put yourself into his or her shoes. Try to understand her feeling. Yeah, right. So here comes to the end of these sections. Okay, we are grateful for Professor Dr. Intan for her insightful sharings. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please join me to thank Dr. Intan. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Intan.